Good morning, happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode where I'm going to talk about how it was my birthday weekend. I turned 37 years old and I got hacked. Somebody went into my bank account and there was $10,000 worth of fraud on my account. So I'm here to talk about it, and I just want to say for everyone that sent me a birthday wish saying happy birthday, taking time out of your day, that means the most. You know, you didn't have to, and it's a fast-paced world where sometimes we don't have enough time for ourselves, but for you to take some time and say hello and happy birthday to me, it doesn't go unnoticed. So if I didn't respond, I want to say thank you again, and I hope you're off to a great start to the week. Let me backtrack a little bit. A lot happened over the weekend, and I just want to let us paint a picture on how I got there. The first thing is I had traveled to St. Louis a week ago. Over the weekend, had a one too many drinks. Yes, I did. I know there are some people out there that say, don't have any alcohol. And I used to drink way too much where it would be affecting my day to day. Situation was, I had 3 drinks and very little sleep, and it was super high energy all weekend. And I woke up really early to go to the airport, and I just felt like crap that whole day. I bounced back. I've got my shit together and hit the ground running that Monday. Hammered work Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday morning I left again to the airport. So there's a lot of different stressors in our lives, and one of the things is travel can stress, and the change in weather and temperature can stress us out. So it's one of those things I'm highly aware of, more so these days. I want to have the best intentions with everything that I do, but I never want to miss out on being present and take in those moments. So I don't have any regrets about what had happened. I feel great today. Living in the past and stressing myself out over something that has taken place does not serve me in the moment. But it was super cold in St. Louis. It was pretty warm down here in Florida, and then I went to Virginia where it was snowing and in the teens. So very, very cold up there for a 2-day work trip. So I was there on Wednesday early, and I spent the afternoon just kind of getting myself prepared for Thursday and Friday. Went into amazing meetings with my mentor and cohort of business owners on Thursday and Friday. Learned a lot, kind of reset, and I'll do another podcast and talk on the highs and lows of like growing something and walking into the unknown, right? Because I can probably share my experience through business, and hopefully you can apply it in your day to day and continue moving forward in a positive direction. But that's for another time. What happened over the weekend was insane. We were in a room. There's like 20 or so of us in a room, and my mentor was rewarding someone for a challenge that he gave to us 90 days ago. The challenge was simply who can gain the most leads. And lead in business is someone who is interested, and I have the opportunity to sell you the product or service that I have, right? Because if you were interested in gaining fat and being unhealthy, you probably wouldn't be here, but something brought you to my page and you want to get healthy, clear of mind, and live a positive life. So maybe one day we'll work together, but that's not the point. This one gentleman in the room had an amazing quarter and won a prize of $1,000. And the whole point was like, we can't lean and rely on social media as people who are lead. The idea was get people into your ecosystem on your email list, be able to communicate with them, because if Zuckerberg took down Facebook and Instagram tomorrow because he wanted to, he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm going to sit on my pile of cash and rest easy the rest of my life. He could. So we're all very happy for him, and we understood the concept. And Thursday came and went, Friday morning came, and my mentor opens up the day by saying, hey, isn't it funny that the person who won the lead competition came in this morning and his Facebook was disabled and his Instagram was disabled, and he didn't have access to any of the 20 plus thousand followers that he had a day before. And we were all like, wow, That's pretty insane that that happened to the one person who won the award or the prize. So the day continues, we continue to learn, we break for lunch, we come back, and then three more people raise their hand. Three in the same room, in the same conference. Hey, my account's been disabled. My account's been disabled. My account's been disabled. And I was like, well, I just followed you, and you guys posted on his story too. We're all in the same room. I was like, hey, take down my post off your story, to the person hosting the event. I was like, I just don't want to deal with that. And he did. The day continues. We continue to learn. Everything's going well. We got our training in. We got our, our workouts in. We, collaborated. We had a really good, positive, productive couple of days. And I'm getting, it's 5 o'clock. I got to get to the airport, catch my red-eye flight home to transfer in Atlanta to come back to Florida before I go with Lacey away to Miami for my birthday weekend. And I'm sitting there talking on my phone, got my earbuds in. So I swipe up to open Instagram to, check some messages, and my account has been disabled. It says your account is under review for inappropriate or something you posted that does not apply to our guidelines. It's under review. You can appeal this. It could take 48 hours to hear from us and get a response. I took a breath. I was like, this is weird. This is 4+ people now in the same room that have been essentially hacked. Like, all these are positive, great, upstanding citizens. Like, I love these people. They do well. And I would, suggest you to any of them. And I appealed it. Before I get on the plane, less than 10 minutes later, denied. And this decision is final. So over the last 9-10 years that I've been building this account and have over 68,000 followers on my Instagram, it's taken away like that. I didn't freak out though. That was the weird part. I was like, okay, well, emotionally freaking out about this is not going to help me in this situation. So what do I do? How do I fix this? Well, patience, right? And it was a really good practice in patience, and probably a blessing in disguise that it was happening as I was getting onto the airplane, which the first one was one of those older like puddle jumpers where it was like 3 seats on one side, 2 on the other, and the Wi-Fi barely worked. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna use this time to think, to breathe, kind of figure out like, what can I do? And it was this breath of fresh air to not have to worry about social media for a moment. And I want you to think about that for a second. How often do you subconsciously open your social media account? For me, I did it 5 to 6 times before I got back on the plane, even though it just happened and I didn't have a social media account to check. I just found myself swiping, unconsciously tapping on the Instagram app. I was like, oh my God, this is not good. This is not okay. So what I did was take that plane ride to really think about, like, what could I do to right the situation? Could I do it all over again? Absolutely. Did I want to? Like, not necessarily, but let me see what we can get done. So I get home, everything's okay. Come home, Lacey pulls up in the car to pick me up. She's got birthday decorations in the car. I was walked home, birthday decorations. I was like, oh, because it was midnight when I landed. So happy birthday to me. Your life's work is taken away from you in a moment. But no, I let it go, and I didn't really think on it. I was like, okay, like, let me just be present and celebrate my birthday weekend. So we're heading out to drive the next day after we slept. Went on a 5K ruck in the morning, had our breakfast, our coffee, set ourselves up for a successful weekend. It's a short drive over to Miami, and I message somebody who knew somebody who could work in getting that account back up. And I was like, okay, let's see what happens. So going through the process and speaking to this person who I don't know, and I'm like a little hesitant because I just got everything hacked. If I give somebody else my information, what happens at this point? It's a scary world and a lot of unknowns out there. So I follow through with it because it was a trusted source, and it cost me $1,200 to get my account back up. That was a decision I had to make. Is my work, my social media, the business that I put together on social media worth $1,200? And I was like, yeah, obviously it is. So like, let's, take this and run with it. So I did that. And truly, it was a tough pill to swallow. But for me, it was more important to realize that there's more that I can do. I can lean into helping people in better ways than I have been. Because if I'm going to do this, it does not help to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And sometimes I feel like I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I want you to take a second and think about what's something that you care about in your life. And if there's 1 foot in and 1 foot out, or if you're diving into this situation with everything that you have to make it worth your while. And for me, this was worthwhile. And it really brought me back to the beginning. Like, why did I start this? I used to be 300 pounds. I used to drink too much. I hung out with the wrong people. I had no vision and goals in my life. I was dabbling with drugs. I was living on a futon in my parents' basement. I was ashamed to take my shirt off. I didn't love who I was anymore. I couldn't be the enthusiastic, passionate person that I once was, because I walked down a path that I thought was safe and thought was exciting at the same time, but it was really just stagnant and boring, and I was a loser. And then I lost my dad, 10 years ago, and that hit me hard. He was 59 years old. And I put myself in a position to say, like, well, that's never going to be me. And I went all in on me. And I realized, like, if I help myself, no one else is being helped. And there are other dads and men out there who need assistance in understanding that they can do the hard things, that they can put their health first, they can make themselves a priority to be a better version for the people in their lives that they care about. Because men as well, like, I'm going to call you out, like, you might have this tough exterior, but at the end of the day, like, you are important. Your health is important. And the more that you can put yourself first, the more you can help other people around you that actually love you. Because if you're not there, they're still going to love you, but you're not doing them any justice. And that's why I started posting on social media. Because we, as individuals, lose our way. And there are people in our lives that we care about who lose their way. So if I found my way and I can help someone else find their way, and I can say the right thing where it resonates with one person out there to help them potentially take a step in the right direction so they can better their lives, that's what this is all about. And that's what I wanted for everybody at the end of the day. And as I grew, there was, a lot of it stayed true. And then I'm trying to like put all the puzzle pieces together as we go. And I felt like I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out on the message. So for me, turning 37, young 37, I feel great. The idea is that, okay, time to get back to basics. I have a second chance here. And I had the luxury and the opportunity, and I understand that, to be able to pay for this, to be able to come back. But now what do I do with it? So we went, and I didn't stress over it at that point. I was like, okay, it's here. Let me share my story on Instagram. You can go look at that live. It's 5 minutes long. And I went and celebrated my birthday weekend. I didn't do anything too crazy. We had a really beautiful hotel. We went and had a nice dinner. We slept in. We enjoyed coffee in the morning. We went and had a great workout. It was 30 minutes long. You don't need to work out forever. Went and had brunch with a friend, drove home, relaxed, got dinner, watched the football game, and then I slept. I recovered. I rested. So I had all of this stress happen, the travel, the hacking, driving home, and then I always check my bank account every day for what's the plan for the week ahead. And it was like, your bank account has been locked due to suspicious activity. And I said to myself, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, this is what I have to deal with. And it's like, no, you get to deal with this. You have the luxury to deal with these problems, which are not huge problems in comparison to other people's problems. So shut up and do what you have to do to figure it out. So yeah, I was like, all my bank accounts were locked. And I was like, okay, let's call Chase at, 6 o'clock on a Sunday night. So I did. And they were very helpful. And again, it was like, oh my God, is this like a real number? Does someone hack into my phone? Like, I'm not a cyber tech security person. I don't understand how it works, but everything is good on that front. And at that point, I put my phone down for the evening. I spent the rest of the evening with Lacey. We watched the football game and went to bed at a decent hour, and got rest. And I think having the ability to shut it off and get rest is what's going to allow you to wake up clear-headed. Because when my alarm went off at 5 a.m., I didn't think twice about hitting the snooze. I said, feet on the ground, stand up, let's get dressed, let's get moving, and let's get on with our day. To top all of this, like there was a water warning. I don't know, Lacey told me about it, but there was like, you can't drink the water right now. Like you have to boil your water in our town because something happened with the water system. And I was like, okay, another, annoyance in our day to day, but it's just like life is filled with these little annoying moments, and how you handle them is all based on your perspective on where it is you want to go. Like, will you let this one frustrating moment in your life dictate the direction that you go? Or will you be able to take a step back and say, hey, I can handle this. It's going to take more time. It's going to take more focus. It's going to take more energy. It's going to take more effort. It's going to be a bother. It's going to be an annoyance. It's going to be this pain in the ass at sometimes. But if you can handle it, take a step in the right direction. If you can handle it and reflect on why you're doing this in the first place. If you can handle it and say, it doesn't matter how I feel, I know what I need to do. Because it's not based on how you feel, it's based on where you want to go. Then you can continue to move forward. So the message this morning on Monday is whatever you had dealt with for the past week, for the past month, for the past year, for the past season in your life, you're here today. So what are you going to do to keep going? Because I knew that I could have thrown in the towel, I could have started from scratch, I could have started it over, but I put myself in this position, and while it was an annoyance, while it was a problem, I could have gotten emotional about it, or I could have zoomed out in the moment and gained some perspective on, okay, this is temporary. And hopefully the plan is a week from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, I could look back on this moment and see it as a guiding path to the better place I'm going to be. And I hope that helps you head into the week ahead. I know this is a longer podcast and I try and keep them under 10 minutes, but I wanted to paint a real picture of the frustration that I had and how you might deal with something similar in your world, but you can still be positive with a smile on your face, taking on whatever's ahead of you day in and day out. So do that. Stay present, but zoom out. And when you zoom out, see where it is you want to go. So whatever the stresses are in your life, how can we breathe through them? How can we think clearly through them? How can we go all in on the things we want to go all in on for the right reasons and the reasons that we started? Because if we forget that, you may get tripped up and caught in the moment, and that could deter you from where it is you want to go. Have an amazing Monday, gang. I appreciate you sitting through this one. I know it was long, and I will see you back here tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Talk to you later.